Hello everyone. So today we're going to be doing a reading for what's the next step, whatever that might mean for you. So we got three piles here. The first pile is lapis lazuli. Second pile is the seal of the seven archangels. And the last pile is clear quartz. So let's get started with pile number one. So the first card up we have is Singer of Healing. This is the Fairy Oracle deck too, for whoever's wondering. Getting a lot of knowledge is coming in right now. I think the Divine has been channeling in knowledge to you, and you're just sort of freely accepting it right now and you're letting it flow. I think your light body's been developing because of this. Your chakras are opening, especially your heart center. I'm getting the message that it's okay to feel safe while this is happening. This might be sort of new to you guys. The energy might feel a little overwhelming. And Spirit's saying to make sure you're grounded during this. And it's okay to be a little startled by it and maybe overwhelmed. But the more you surrender to this energy, the faster you can grow. I'm getting there might be some resistance to things that need to be cleared for this energy to flow more freely, and that it could be in your lower chakras, your root chakra specifically. And that the more you stay grounded, the easier this energy will flow and heal, and that blockage will be cleared. So next up we have the Lady of the Harvest. I'm getting really fertile energy from this card. Hearing people are starting to notice and be attracted to your energy. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of attraction. Sort of like everyone wants a piece of whatever this new energy that you're cultivating is, it's making extremely attractive. Be careful that you don't get lost in this feeling of being wanted and desired and sought after. I don't think it's anything to worry about, but as you're going back to the first card, as your energy, as your vibration raises and your energy starts to shift like that, people notice that energetically, and they pick up on that new energy, and it's different, and people are often very attracted to that energy. So I think this card is a little bit cautionary, just saying don't get too lost in that. You can enjoy yourself, but not everyone's going to have your best interest at heart. Many of them could, but there could be some that just see something attractive that they want, and they don't care how they get it or take it. But she does look very I don't know, she looks very like in a trance. Like I think she's just enjoying this admiration so much. So I think Spirit's saying, yeah, enjoy yourself. Like you are, nothing wrong with that, but just also be wary because, not everyone is. Some people just might want to. They might be attracted to that energy and then just want to take it and leave. This card is, we got Honesty for your last Fairy Oracle card. So I'm hearing new growth, outward growth, seeing what you didn't see before. Being more in tune with your surroundings. Being more in tune with Source. Being more in tune with nature. I'm hearing that to be open to receive insights from Source, and I think you are open right now to that. You look very aware of what Source and your guides are sending you, and and letting that energy be channeled and utilized through you, you're opening up opportunities in your life for new growth. I think you're starting to see that now. I'm hearing that you're doing it without expectations, which is really good because that allows things to manifest. I'm hearing you're trusting Source now. The more you're willing to trust this energy, the more powerful your growth can be, and the faster you can manifest whatever this vision is that you're starting to trust. This is your last card, which is Israfel, Angel of Song. That you're starting to feel ready to utilize this new knowledge in the 3D world, this new spiritual insight that you have. You're ready to create something beautiful with it. I'm also feeling this balance that if you haven't achieved yet, you will. And this balance is the insight from the divine and you being firmly grounded in the 3D reality, and they're both being mixed to create this something new that I think you have a perfect idea of what it is, or if you don't, it's going to become clear to you very soon. It's interesting though, I'm just feeling this calm intensity of insight from you guys. Like it's just a knowing that this is something you need to express, and an understanding that it is something you and Spirit are creating together. So that's all I got for pile number 1. Thank you guys. If you want to leave a like and comment or subscribe, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Okay, number 2. Got the 7 Archangels pendant up there. And let's start off with the first card, which is Sylvanus. It's an interesting card. just heard Divine Mother. Maybe you guys have a close connection with Mother Mary. I'm hearing being crowned. I'm hearing you've been fighting for a long time. And you're tired. I'm hearing you need rest. And I'm hearing you need to look for answers from the Divine Mother. I think that'll be Mother Mary for some of you. I'm hearing you're being greatly honored for your work. So maybe you guys have been going through a lot spiritually. I've had a lot of hardships, and I'm just getting a sense that Spirit's very proud of you, and you're greatly admired. I just heard favored too. Hearing if you let go, there will be peace. The sword you're carrying, you can see in this picture, is a heavy burden. I think the Divine is asking you to surrender your problems. Yeah, I'm just really hearing to let go. Whatever these burdens are that you've been carrying, I just sense that you need to let go and surrender them to the Divine. I'm hearing to hold on to hope too. You guys might have felt some despair during this, like it's just never ending. But the Divine's saying to hold on to hope. And surrender the burdens that are weighing you down. next card. Nellis the Alchemist. It's funny how we were just talking. I was saying you're being crowned. Look at that. So I'm getting that when you do surrender these burdens, that you're going to be able to start manifesting unbelievably easily. Yeah, I mean, so she's the alchemist, and that's sort of what I'm feeling. I think the way you've been trying to heal has been the more difficult way, and that when you do surrender, instead of that huge sword that's hard to carry and lift, it's going to be this light wand. And what's funny is if you see this sword, that little light on the top of it, what's on the top of that wand? And there's no light coming off of this first person. So I think it's just been a really, really hard struggle for you guys. Maybe spiritually. Or whatever you've been going through that's been testing you. But now I'm hearing you're letting spirit guide you. And when you do that, which goes back to the surrendering, you guys, I mean, this is like a really, really powerful card. I think you guys are just going to become master manifestors. And that darkness isn't going to scare you anymore, or it's not going to be burdensome like it was before. It's going to be extremely clear to you how to manifest anything you want. Just getting so much power from this card. Others will be guided by your light too. So I think when you do this, it's going to be very inspiring to others. And they're going to see just like this strength and beauty, and hearing like spiritual charisma. Not sure what that means, but it's like nothing can stop you. That's how you're going to feel, and that's going to be the truth as well. Because once you surrender, I'm feeling you're going to have a massive new understanding of how to work with the divine, and manifesting is going to become extremely easy for you. You're just going to be absolutely confident in it, whatever you set your mind to, because you guys already have the tenacity. I think you were just going through trials and tribulations, and you're doing it the very difficult way. But the second you surrender those burdens and just trust in Spirit and Spirit's path for you, you're not going to feel burdened anymore, and you're going to start to develop this understanding of how to create whatever you want effortlessly. I'm just sensing so much power off of that. Oh, you guys actually got 4 cards. Look at this guy. So I'm hearing, don't let fear immobilize you. Don't let little thoughts grow into bigger ones. Doubts, maybe. Until... Sorry about that, guys. My storage space was filled up. So... yeah, back to where we were. So just get the feeling that you shouldn't let any of these doubts grow into an overwhelming fear until you're paralyzed and you can't move, and the fear becomes a part of you. Because that's the opposite of this. You might be feeling doubts because the journey might have been so hard for you for so long that for it to change could possibly be scary. You know, sometimes we can find comfort in hardship, and when that hardship can change into something very easy, then we can gain even more amazing results, much more amazing. That can be sort of frightening, and it can also easily be challenged by doubts, and those doubts can keep growing into a bigger and bigger fear until it sort of creates a roadblock for this extremely powerful and beautiful energy that you guys have coming in. So this card is just, you know, cautionary. I think this energy is just so inevitable. But this is just saying, you know, surrender. It goes back to that first card of just surrender your burdens to the divine, and that includes any new fears that may come up that are challenging this beautiful new energy. cute little card. Half the footer. No, half the. I'm getting the feeling like you guys. I think you have a lot of tenacity. Very, very strong people who picked this pile. And I'm just getting the sense that you've been through so much, and you're starting to sort of, like, that vision, that strong visionary energy you have is not I don't want to say faltering, but it's just sort of in this state of like, is this ever going to end? You know? Like, it goes back to that the first card of that tired energy. And in this card, he's rubbing his feet, and he has this sort of melancholy look on his face, and his wings seem sort of bent. I think you guys are just very... I don't think you've seen this energy yet. This hasn't become apparent to you yet because you're still in the process of surrendering to the divine. So I'm hearing sort of fed up right now. That might be how you're feeling. And I'm also picking up that you might be starting to lose trust and faith in the divine's plan, and that it seems sort of far away. Like maybe you felt like you've turned your back on it a little bit. But I think that's all part of the process. And it's not that you've let go of it completely. I think, if anything, this might even be you starting to surrender the outcome. I think maybe you've been working towards what you felt you needed to do, and you've been doing it so hard, and you've been enduring so much, and you haven't been seeing the results you thought you were going to see, and that might have not, I don't want to say shaken your faith, because I'm not really picking that up. It's just sort of like you're just sitting down, you just like want to rest for a second, and you're just not paying attention to what you've expected to happen because it hasn't been happening. I think you guys are so I'm just getting like very strong individuals that can endure a lot. So where other people might get really sad and depressed by this, I'm not getting that. I'm getting just more like you guys are starting to sort of sit back and not pay attention to the outcome that you thought all of this hard work and maybe endurance would yield. And I think that's actually, ironically, the first step towards bringing in this beautiful energy, because it's going to lead to you surrendering the outcome think when you start to surrender the outcome and the burdens that you've had, you're going to gain new insight that's going to rapidly transform your growth at an extremely accelerated speed. So much so that it's going to bring in these doubts, which I don't even think you guys are really used to, because I think you're such resilient individuals that you don't deal with a lot of doubt. But I think for so long you've had to endure and fight in the way that you thought was right, but I think you guys were doing it the hard way. And for so long you've been doing it that way, and then when you finally surrender and you see that once you do surrender, you start to gain a new understanding that will lead to a very easy way to create and manifest what it is you're desiring. That's going to shock you so much that it's going to stir up some doubts. So I think Spirit's just saying, when that does happen, just remember to also surrender those doubts and fears. I don't think that there's any way that it could jeopardize this energy. I think this is going to happen no matter what. But it is saying that, it might slow it down for a bit at most. So, nothing too serious, but just to be wary of it. And I think you guys are such hard workers that you're going to take that to heart, and really, you're going to notice this right away and work through it immediately. A really cool energy, really interesting pile. And then for the Angelarium card, we have Estabas, Angel of Divination. Sorry, this isn't focusing that well. Again, I'm just getting like this really, really strong energy. Like you guys are just these warriors, and when you come out of this, you're just going to be such powerful manifestors. Like nothing is going to be impossible for you guys. It's just such a fascinating pile. I just keep getting this sense of just like powerful, strong, powerful, resilient spirits. And I think that's why you've had to go through this so far, because you're one of the very few types of people that can handle this. But it's also fascinating because I just sense a lot of intuition as well. So it's almost like once you come out of this, you're just going to be like this manifesting wizard warrior almost. I don't know how else to put it. This card is just, look at that, he's like floating above the world, like he just has complete control over it. And then it's like he's completely in tune with the divine. His mind is. And it's just like just strength and power over his reality. Or her, sorry. What an awesome pile though. So if you guys like that, leave a comment. I read all of them. or a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. This is ecstasis. I'm getting you guys are... Like you're consciously very ready for spiritual transformation. Maybe you're like asking for it. Or you have this excitement of a connection with the divine. Maybe this has it feels like a new energy. So maybe you've just started to really work with spirit, or you're developing new spiritual gifts, or you're communicating with the divine. And I'm just sensing a lot of this sort of like youthful, excited energy. It's funny, I was actually just about to say ecstasy, and then I remember the card was actually called ecstasis. Isn't that funny? But I'm just getting sort of like you're just, like your arms are out, and you're just kind of like, it's that feeling of Alleluia, kind of like you're just looking up at the heavens, sort of excited about that divine energy coming through to you. Yes, like you're excited for growth. You're welcoming it with open arms. I'm just getting this very excited, like, can't wait energy. Just joy. It's really beautiful. See what your next card is. Laum. I mean, the first thing I'm getting from this is that I think you guys have gone through a lot. You feel beaten and battered from everything you've had to go through to get to this point. But it's just so fascinating because I think there's this really, really deep understanding of everything you've had to go through now, that you needed to go through it to get where you are now, and that you don't care about the bumps and bruises it took to get here. You're just, it's like a gratefulness to be where you are, no matter what you have or what you've gone through. Because I think you're just, I'm getting very insightful, intuitive people that picked this pile. And also like a very, an energy that's always excited for growth, you know. It's like spiritual growth is exciting. You want the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Maybe it wasn't always like that, because I mean, usually it isn't for us when we're going through spiritual growth, but eventually it does get to that point where we become so in line with spirit, and our intuitions develop to a point where when new things that trigger us or cause pain, emotional pain, we can look at them objectively, and once you do that, you let the pain release, and you see what in you is triggered by that pain, and once you look at that objectively and let it flow through you, that's how it's released, and that's how you heal. And the more and more you do that over the years, one, the easier it becomes, but you start to become excited for this because you know that the pain isn't actually who you are. So you're able to transmute it, and the triggers can almost, triggers are never really comfortable and the pain isn't comfortable, but it's a knowing that that pain isn't actually part of you. It's something that can be released, and once it's released, there's magical growth. And I think that's where you guys are. I think you have that understanding, which is at a later part of the spiritual journey. So I'm getting very, very beautiful, insightful people who picked this pile. And I think I think down here, that's Spirit. Like, see, she sort of has this look on her face of like her wings are just broken and tattered, but she just has this look like it doesn't matter to her. She's just happy for where she is. She doesn't have any clothes. She has nothing, but she's still grateful. And that, I think that's Spirit, just super proud. Oh, that's so cool. I keep getting goosebumps during this one. It's funny. So far I just really feel this emergence of joy within you. Wow, and we get topsy-turvy. It's funny, this is the back of the deck, and this is the actual card that is the last card of the deck, I believe. I'm actually getting that, what's fascinating about this card is that you can look at any one of these faces. Let's take this guy for example. And technically it's the right side up right now. When you turn it upside down, he becomes a new face. You see that? See, now his nose is down here. So that's with all these faces. That's why it's just such an amazing card. But that's sort of the feeling that I'm getting with you guys, is that you're so spiritually evolved at this point. That you're just completely in line with the flow of the divine. Yeah, I'm really just getting a willingness to go with the flow. Which is, I think, exactly what you need to be doing right now. But really, this pile just feels like you guys are already completely in line with what you need to be doing. And if you ever fall out of line with that, just get back to where you were with this intuitive trusting of Spirit, I want to say. Interesting pile. So you're look at that last card from the Angelarium deck. Left eye, Bina, knowledge. I mean, that looks like someone who's spiritually knowledgeable. I mean, what's fascinating about this too is it's kind of what we were just talking about. If you look at that, it's like they're seeing, there's this hole through their chest, and it's almost like an understanding. I mean, they're like elated about it though, which seems strange, but I think it goes back to this understanding that you needed to go through these hardships to gain this spiritual insight and wisdom. And I think you guys have already, like, you're either this is just happening, or you've already understood that it's like coming to this understanding that this is the process of spiritual growth. And you guys know that now, and it's like that look right there is the same look right here. I mean, with her wings all beaten and torn up and the hole through her chest, it's like despite all of that, there's still this gratitude for the spiritual lessons that you've learned and the spiritual growth that you've attained. I mean, this is a really fascinating pile because it's not what's the next step? There's not. I mean, I think the next step is really to just keep doing this. Keep doing what you're doing. Because this is the way to do it, to come in line with what our I mean, it's just a little weird explaining it to this pile because I feel like you guys already know all this. I just get this feeling like you guys are very far along in your spiritual journey, and you understand that this is the process of spiritual growth. And I'm getting it's just this complete feeling of being in line with spirit and open to receiving any sort of lessons that the divine wants you to learn, because you just know that that's the way to move forward. And it's just this complete surrender and gratitude and joy for the spiritual journey that you're on. And I mean, it's really beautiful. And I think the divine is unbelievably proud of you, and they're just saying that you just need to keep doing what you're doing, and that you're doing an amazing job. And maybe if you guys have just come into this understanding now, maybe this is just like a reading for confirmation for you guys, that Spirit's saying, yeah, this is like, you guys are doing it, this is it, this is this is the process. Congratulations. Very interesting pile. That's going to wrap up pile number 3 as well, and the readings as a whole. If you guys liked that, please leave a comment and a like. I read all the comments. And subscribe because I will be doing more videos in the future. And thanks for being here.